Well, good afternoon and welcome to the second edition of the Countdown to the Bermuda Day Half Marathon Derby 2025. I'm your host, Earl Based, and joining me is the defending champion in the female race, Gayle Lindsay. Gayle, first of all, thank you very much for joining. As the defending champion, and I asked Lamont this just yesterday, as the defending champion, do you feel added pressure as in the lead up to the race?
Hey, well, firstly, thanks for having me. And yeah, in answer to your question, I think I kind of see it from two different angles. So yes and no. I think if I look back to kind of 8 or 9 years ago when I was entering this race and I was pretty unknown on the running scene then. For me personally, I still got nervous before the race, but there wasn't the same expectation on me, and so not really kind of any pressure to perform in any certain way or achieve any certain results. So I'd say yes, when I compare it to previous years, there's definitely an added pressure. But I think on the flip side, when I look back to those early years and my kind of biggest running aspirations were really to win the Front Street Mile and win the Bermuda Half Marathon Derby. So I've managed to achieve both of those kind of goals, and no one can ever take that away from me. So regardless of what happens in any future race, I feel like there's less pressure because I've already achieved those milestones. So yeah, two kind of flip sides to look at it.
Yeah, well, and congratulations on those accomplishments. What aspect of the Bermuda Day Half Marathon do you feel suited or suits your running style best? You've adapted to training and capitalized on those strengths before, but what suits your running style best?
So I would say over the years, I've just transitioned my focus from being more of a shorter distance runner. So I used to train more specifically for kind of 800-meter mile distance. And then I think it's just a natural progression for a lot of athletes that as you get older, you tend to lose that top end speed. So kind of naturally gravitate more to the longer distances. So I think for me, I wouldn't say I've changed my training necessarily to capitalize on specific strengths just for the Bermuda half marathon. I'd say I've probably adjusted my training to align with what I enjoy most. And so long distance events have definitely suited me better these days. And I think my training reflects that shift. And it's ultimately is what has helped my performance in the last couple of years.
Sure. I want to add something to that. Mentally changing that from, you talked about being a short course runner to doing the longer distance. Mentally, how was that adjustment for you?
Definitely an adjustment. There's definitely more of a mental aspect to the longer distances, just because you're out there for an hour as opposed to kind of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's definitely been part of kind of just growing into the event, is learning how to deal with the mental challenges that are inevitably going to come along the way at some point during the longer races.
Sure. Now, the Bermuda Day atmosphere is quite unique. How do you harness the energy of the crowds and the significance of the day itself to fuel your performance during the race? I mean, take us back to your first time starting, and just up to last year.
Yeah. So yeah, just to echo your sentiment there, the atmosphere on Bermuda Day really is unlike any other race, and I would just really encourage everyone to experience it at least once. So if there's anyone kind of sitting there still on the fence about whether they should sign up, I'd say definitely go for it. And then that's a great thing as well about having the really team options, is if you're not quite ready for that full 13.1 miles, you can take on a shorter piece of it and still be part of it and get to experience it. But for me, the crowd support really is huge. The
Yeah,
cheers,
yeah.
encouragements.
Hold on a sec. Right. Um, so I was distracted. Someone's calling. With the unpredictability of the weather, it often plays a factor in Bermuda Day. Sometimes it's really warm, other times it's windy, and so forth. Um, how might that influence the way you run the race itself?
Yeah, so the weather is definitely one of the biggest factors that makes the race so challenging and just so unpredictable. So I've definitely learned some valuable lessons over the years, learned some of them the hard way. I think one of the biggest lessons I learned early on was just related to hydration, and it probably sounds a bit common sense to a lot of people, but I never used to really take on much fluid in my training, and so and then I think as well it's difficult because in the couple of weeks leading up to Bermuda Day, or sorry, in the months leading up to Bermuda Day, it's not really too hot and humid, and then it just seems to be in the couple of weeks before that's something suddenly switches and that humidity ramps up, so you don't really have a proper opportunity to kind of acclimatize yourself to the weather. So I think I remember one year I kind of naively assumed that I could get through most of the race without taking on any fluid, and then by the time I got to town I felt like I was going backwards, and definitely learned that the hard way. So yeah, I think I've just over the years learned to be flexible.
Right.
Depend And each year can be so different as well. So yeah, definitely learned some valuable lessons, and I think it's just the more you do it, the more you learn.
Sure, sure. Now, looking back at your previous Bermuda Day half marathons, is there a particular moment or memory that stands out as especially meaningful or challenging, and what did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, so many great memories from over the years. I think the standout ones for me, obviously 2 years ago when I broke that tape for the first time, that was
Hmm.
really special. My sister was over visiting and at that time was still allowed to race, so being able to share the experience with her definitely made it extra special as well. And then last year, managing to win, I had my family visiting, so having them at the finish line and for that support was really special as well. And then another one, which is slightly more random, but will forever just be in my memory, is 2 years ago. I'd managed to catch up to Brianna on Front Street, and
Uh-huh.
the two of us were running along kind of stride for stride. And then I just remember hearing somewhere the Chariots of Fire soundtrack. And it was just kind of like this moment almost straight out of the film. And it's funny because when you ask about what do I learn from the experience, I think the Chariots of Fire kind of theme is relevant just in terms of kind of uh, achieving victory through self-sacrifice and overcoming personal challenges. So yeah, those are some
you,
of the main ones.
you know what song you're going to be hearing along the route this year, then. The local running community is incredibly supportive. How much of that support mean to you as you're competing in this iconic race, and are there specific individuals or groups that who encourage you, that you appreciate the most?
Yeah, so well, I would say we are very lucky in Bermuda to have such a great running community, and I'm personally very grateful to be a part of it. I think in the beginning, I used to basically run every race that was on the running calendar, and
Yes.
in recent years, I've had to cut back on that a bit, but the main reason for that was just that I genuinely love the social aspect of our running community and the camaraderie.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, definitely feel very grateful to be a part of that, and I'm so grateful for the support that I get from the community. In terms of specific groups or people, there's too many to mention individually, but I think one group is definitely the Mac Running Club.
Uh-huh.
I think that's been hugely influential in my running journey. And if I think back to when I first arrived in Bermuda and someone introduced me to the Mac track sessions, which happen up at the stadium on a Wednesday night,
Uh-huh.
and that was kind of the beginning of my journey. And so owe a huge amount of gratitude to coaches Steve and Tony for their guidance along the way, and to the entire Mac club for being such a positive influence on me.
Sure, sure, sure. Now, as a favorite, there's often a level of expectations. How do you manage that pressure leading up to the race, leading up to race day, and what is your primary goal for this year's event?
So yeah, I try not to let the pressure weigh too heavily on me. I feel like I've learned to shift my focus inward and try to concentrate more on what I can control. So my training, my mindset, my effort on the day, um, and then try to focus less on what I can't control, which is who else turns up on the day and what kind of shape they're in. So
Hmm.
I think running is always relative. Your position depends on who else is in the field, and if someone lines up faster, then it doesn't change how I've prepared or how hard I've worked. But I think it does change the expectations. So, for instance, if Erica Hawley decides to sign up, I don't think the I don't think the expectation is for me to would be to be an Olympian. So yeah, I try and keep that kind of perspective that it's all relative.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, and of course I'd love to win again. I think every athlete that steps on the line would love to win the race, but
Right.
more than anything, I think it's just about walking away knowing that I've given it my absolute best.
Sure, sure, sure. And final question: beyond the competition itself, what does participating in the Bermuda Day Half Marathon mean to you personally, as an athlete, and what message do you hope your performance sends to aspiring young runners across the island?
Yeah, so the half marathon has so much incredible history, and it's such an awesome celebration of everything that makes Bermuda special. So being able to compete in this iconic race year after year is something that I'm incredibly grateful to be a part of. And in terms of the message I hope to send to aspiring young runners, it's really just knowing that success in running or any sport or life for that matter, it doesn't come overnight. It takes years of hard work, discipline, a lot of setbacks. But if you love the process, then results will follow. And so I just hope that my journey can inspire other runners to keep pushing, stay consistent, and never give up on your dreams.
Okay, well, Gail, I want to wish you all the best. You're just over 2 weeks away from lining up in St. George and making your way to Hamilton. And it is special because you said 2 years ago that's where you won your first one coming out of the East End, and you're back in the East End this year. So again, all the best. We'll hopefully greet you at the finish line.
Yes.
And all I can say is enjoy yourself, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the day, and as you've already indicated, let the chips fall where they may.
Thank you so much.
Okay, enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye bye.